Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the host of CBS Morning's Gayle King and Oscar-nominated actor and philanthropist, Salma Hayek Pinault.
When you look around the room, there are Oscar winners, Golden Globe winners, Broadway producers. I see you, Alicia Keys. There are billionaires. It's the hoi polloi, the lotties and the dotties. So to be sitting next to Breakthrough Prize scientists, Richard Lifton is my dinner partner tonight, and I was asking him, what is it about your job? He said, I don't know any scientist that does this that hasn't wanted to do this for their whole life. Why? Because it's endlessly thrilling, he said. Imagine working with a job that you think is endlessly thrilling. So I said, what makes it endlessly thrilling? He said, because once you make a discovery, just think about this, for as long as we're on the universe or in the planet, it is an enduring truth. And I thought, wow, we need to do that in media and politics. 500 million years ago, complex life emerged from the oceans onto land for those first pioneering organisms. It was a risky venture, you could say, and I guess we have a lot to thank them for.
But what made it possible, what made us possible, was actually 20 miles up in the sky, the ozone layer. It allowed life to thrive on the surface of our planet.
So think about this, guys. Without the ozone layer to absorb the sun's high-energy rays, plants wouldn't grow, eyes would be blinded by the light, could be a Springsteen song, life on land would be dead on arrival. And 40 years ago, industrial chemicals were rapidly destroying our vital ozone layer. Skin cancer was already on the rise, cataracts too, Earth's ecosystems and our civilization were at risk.
What saved us was science. A small group of scientists was determined to discover the truth and tell it to the world. And amazingly, the world listened and acted as one fragile, precious planet.
Scientists are worried by a mysterious, massive hole high above the ice. It is a hole in the Earth's protective ozone layer.
Nobody predicted this. It's kind of, it's just like a bomb falling out of the sky. The first time I talked about the ozone hole was at a scientific meeting. I was 30 years old. I was probably the only woman in the room, and everybody laughed. Melina and Roland had found that a little ozone could be destroyed by chlorofluorocarbons, or CFCs. Those are chemicals that can be found in aerosols, refrigerators, all kinds of manufacturing. But how are these everyday chemicals shredding so much ozone in Antarctica? I needed to understand that mechanism.
Leading the team is Susan Solomon, a young atmospheric chemist from Boulder, Colorado.
I just had to go and find the truth. That's what science is. We had to literally stand out on the roof holding a mirror. It's minus 40, the wind's 40 miles an hour, and it was absolutely glorious. Science the way you dream of it. You against the elements, trying to figure out something very important. And we did. We found out that the chlorine compounds were the cause of the problem. And the most amazing thing is, people listened.
We face common problems and must respond with common action.
There is one unprecedented act of humanity in which every country on Earth came together to protect the future of life on Earth.
The Montreal Protocol. All of the countries in the world have agreed to ban CFCs. Isn't that incredible? It's hard for me to believe it, but what we have now is an ozone layer that is really starting to heal. I'd say we should be extremely proud of ourselves, of all humanity.
I'm really honored to say that with us in the audience tonight is a scientist we have a lot to thank for. In fact, everything to thank for.
Ladies and gentlemen, Susan Solomon, the scientist who convinced the world to act.
Thank you, Susan.